Namaste. This is Yoga Therapy Podcast, and I'm your host, Shira Cohen, yoga teacher, yoga therapist, and Ayurvedic wellness educator. In these conversations with experts in the field of yoga therapy, you'll find out what it is and how it can help you and your loved ones to reclaim well-being. We'll touch on physical as well as mental health, physiology, emotions, women's health, spiritual well-being, goddesses, and self-development in the fullest sense. Listening to another story can change ours, so thank you for showing up, and let's begin this journey together. Hello everyone. So today we're joined by Jennifer Spofford, and she's really happy that I can say her name well, so I'm really happy to. She's a certified yoga teacher, yoga therapist, a Reiki practitioner, an authentic awareness coach, a certified nursing assistant. She has done trainings in 12-step yoga for recovery, trauma-informed, yoga for chronic pain. And I read you did a training with Bessel from Kolk. Is that right?
I did, yes.
It was wow, lovely, how was that?
Intense, but I learned so much, and there's still like pieces of it every once in a while that comes up. Yeah, it was a very, very good training because a lot of embodied information.
Wow. Okay, so welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us your yoga journey, how it became yoga therapy, and why you think yoga therapy is so powerful or amazing.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I started taking yoga in 1999 or 2000 when I got sick and I couldn't really figure out what to do. And I started searching, and it was like meditation. And I was in resistance, honestly. Looking back, I was like, no, I'm going to do this other thing. I'm going to do the asana. I don't know if I knew it was there at that time. So I pushed myself, and I was like, I'm going to find the answers to getting healed. And as I was healing myself, I realized a couple of years into it, I was like, I need to be a teacher because I love this and more people need this. Having no idea that, it takes years to figure out what you're really good at. That's all good though. And then as I was researching the yoga teaching, I realized that the yoga therapy felt more at home, and I want to say better at it. That's not really the word, but it's more like I'm more attuned at it, and it feels the richness feels like I'm brighter and I bring more to it. Yeah, I love helping people tune into their bodies and help them finding the spark and letting go of the things that are stuck and feel yucky inside. Sometimes it could come through as an injury. Sometimes it could just be these places in your body that you don't understand. Something's not right, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, I love doing it because I see the long-term effects in people. Like, for example, one of my clients, past clients, she moved to Italy, and her and her husband moved there, and she's a coach working with immigrants and women, and she's just adult. And every time I see her in different places, I can see this brightness come from her. And I worked with her for about 9 months, and I was like, maybe I had a little spark in there. Yeah. And I had something to do with it, and it makes me feel good. I mean, she's already a long-term meditator, so I know there's that too. But yeah, so it just feels really good to know that I'm making a difference in the world, putting some light out there. And yoga therapy, there's so much depth, and you can go as deep or as, I guess you want to say, light as you want to. I go with where people are in the moment, really touching base with them and finding what's going on in their whole world, their life, their body, their hobbies, all their little pieces, their background. Yeah. And kind of planting seeds, and it works from the deeper part of the self all the way out. And so you're kind of bringing the layers and the parts of the body into awareness, and allowing people to see themselves better. And maybe they want to change, and maybe it's just you're gonna shift naturally because, oh, there's something going on here. I need to stir this up and play with it. And kind of a
Mm.
beautiful thing to see what people bring up as we work together. So yeah, I hope
It's
that
a,
answers your question.
yeah, 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 totally. In a very different way. So the way you're describing it, like you said, natural, but it's also gradual. It's not a fast fix. And
Yeah,
you probably get to the deeper layers as you go. Yeah.
yeah. And I can, if there's somebody that's on the cusp of they've already worked with other practitioners and they're like, I still have something going on. I can combine yoga therapy and Reiki, and I can do some that's like maybe 2 or 3 sessions. And oh, okay, this is what you needed.
Mm. So really catalyzing a shift. You discover through talk. How do you do this, like in a session?
It's a combination of talking with them, having them get into their deeper part of their self through meditation, and really having a deep intuitive sense. And so using all of those places, and really allowing myself to be super, super present with each individual and what's going on in that moment.
Okay.
So do they need a deeper session, or is it just, let's just go very gradual and, really getting a grasp for what they want. And
Mm-hmm. And what if, because a lot of people don't have body awareness or don't have that more subtle awareness, how do you approach then?
um, a little more on the gentle side, because a lot of people that don't have that body awareness also can be resistant and like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. That sounds like a lot, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And so with them, like coaching, coaching them on the gentle side of like, this is what we can do, and we can do this through the physical body, and it doesn't have to be as deep, or
Deep.
it doesn't have to be so much that you can't handle it. And so I'll do more physical movements and put them into, I don't want to say a trance state necessarily, but they're in a meditative state. But I'm also really being aware of, they're a little more hesitant, or they haven't done as much body work. And so I'm really working with them on a little more gradual. And sometimes I have them do homework like writing or playing in a garden. I give each person homework when they're coming back to me, and then I'm like, and it's not nothing big. It could be a 5 minute a day thing. It could be something once a week, just to really get them to notice what we did in the sessions so that they can get more out of them.
Yeah, so that
Yeah,
shift really happens. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's got to keep going, doesn't it? It needs that momentum. And you
right,
need to
right.
keep pushing it, even if it's just that little bit. What was I thinking? Yeah, I saw on your website, so you use dance, nature, ritual, positive mindset shifting, and directive therapy. What is directive therapy?
I haven't come up with a better word. For some reason, that feels too heady to me. So I'm kind of digging
Yeah.
for better words for that, honestly. But essentially, what that is so I'm getting you into your body with meditation, and we might be moving at the same time, or we might be still. And it's, I may say something like, what's happening here to start things out, and then letting them talk from whatever's going on in their body. Like, for example, I'm seeing the playground of where I was when I was 8 years old, and this and this and this was going on. And then I'll pick a word out. Oh, Bobby was there. Tell me more about Bobby. Or I saw a smile on your face. Can you tell me more about what made that happen? Or, I noticed a shift in your demeanor, and I kind of bring
Mm.
out whether it's a smile or the breathing in the person changed. Maybe it got heavier, maybe it got lighter.
So
And
you're
so
reflecting.
that's what, exactly, reflecting, yeah, reflecting what's going on with them, and then encouraging them to kind of work with
Nice.
what's going on. So all the therapy is really what's going on with them. It's not about me. I'm the guide,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah. Okay, okay. And you work a lot with, well, your work is called grounding yoga therapy. And
Hmm.
can we just explain to people what is grounding? Why is grounding important?
Absolutely.
And what does it facilitate?
Yeah, absolutely. I let's see, I might have to have you repeat part of it, but essentially
Okay.
grounding is to me, and there's many different versions of grounding, but essentially it's working with the earth to tune you in to your higher resources. And it could be, God to you, it could be Muhammad, it could be other entities, but it's really to work with you to feel the presence of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And there's different ways. A lot of people have grounding mats. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. Personally, I spend at least 10 to 15 minutes some days just like sitting on the earth. I'll meditate when it's warm enough outside in the morning, or go for walks, whatever. It depends on what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tell me your next question. I apologize. I couldn't quite keep all of it in there at once.
So, what is grounding, and why is it important? Why do people need to ground? What is missing in their life when they're not grounded, for example?
Yeah, and a lot of times what I can notice is somebody's not centered. So that's really essentially what it brings them to at the end of a session, especially when I'm doing Reiki, I will spend a few moments at the end of every session grounding somebody. And that's really like bringing them back to,
Their
I
body.
want to say like home and a
Mm.
sense of presence. And just, it's not about moving things through at that time. It's just really like everything's right here, and it's kind of a centered space is the best way I can describe it. So,
Embodiment.
how you might see those people that are like bouncing through life and they're just super high, and then there are the people that are like, woe is me, and like sad and depressed. And what we're working towards is that really centered space so that
Mm-hmm.
you're
Okay.
happy and content, but not like, woo.
Well, I tend to oscillate between the two and find the middle ground and enjoy that for a moment, and then off I am.
There you go. They go
Yes.
with that.
Okay. And the other thing is, what does grounding facilitate? So, why is it helpful to be centered? And take a drink if you need one first
Yeah, sure.
to center yourself.
Um, so what it essentially facilitates, I guess, essentially is what's the best way to describe this? Essentially what you're gonna get the most out of it if you keep yourself in a centered space is, okay, say for example, your boss yells at you
Mm-hmm.
and you don't take that energy in. You're just
Mm.
like, okay, well, this happened. What do I need to get out of it? Did I actually do something, or is that their baloney? Or you're in a car accident, a minor one, we'll just say, because bigger ones, there's all kinds of other biological things happening. Um, and you stay calm. Or you're in a big crowd of people, and say, for example, you're an empath, and it feels like a lot. You know how to find your center, and you're not like, this is too much. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
I can go to the restroom for a moment and take a moment to myself, or I can do this. You know how to oscillate, like you were describing just a couple of moments ago. You're like, I go from here to here, and then I enjoy the moments in between. You can enjoy more of those moments in between,
Mm.
and
Mm-hmm.
the little moments like playing in the garden, looking at the flowers, watching little kids play, family conversations, and like
Yeah.
moments of joy. Those will come out more
Mm.
if you stay in your center, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I
Nice.
totally agree. But yeah, it's just nice to point that out. So it's also not taking things personal. It's about resilience and being able to
Yes,
bounce back quicker. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah, and really noticing what is your energy and what somebody else's.
Mm.
That's a part of what I help teach people
Mm.
with the coaching that I do.
So boundaries again.
Yeah. And some of it's emotional boundaries, some of it's
Mm.
energetic boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's very subtle, so people don't even realize. It took me a while as well. We had a lot of enmeshment in my family. So it's really
Mm.
hard when I had a daughter to understand what was her feeling and what was mine. You
Yes.
get so
Yeah.
caught up. Yeah.
Yeah, I can totally get that for
Mm.
sure.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. So one of your most important aspects of your work is embodied awareness therapy, no? Do you want to tell
Yes,
us
absolutely.
about that?
So you were describing a collection of the things that I put together, play and ceremony and outdoor time, the uh, I've already forgotten the name of it. The type of coaching, essentially. So I combine a whole bunch of different things. Excuse me for not remembering. I'm not really a morning person.
That's okay.
Um, so it's essentially I combine all these different elements, and but the biggest two is the yoga therapy, all the different elements of the yoga therapy with the Reiki. And the Reiki helps me get deeper with people and help them pull out the layers and the parts of themselves that they might not be able to see in everyday normal life experiences. And I'll pause in the middle of a session and I'll do like 10 minutes of Reiki, or I'll be doing Reiki while I'm coaching them to move through something else that's going on. Um, and it really can help the person kind of shift and see things in a different light. And sometimes it's a matter of just it releases energy that you don't need, and it can just help filter things so I can see where they need to go or where they might want to go if I'm pulling out and doing Reiki for a moment or two here and there during each session, because it really brings the juiciness forward, if you will. um, yeah, and why I've created this is really just some of the life I've been through and healed from, and knowing how many people out there could really use this and benefit from it. I see that there's so much trauma, and there's collective trauma, there's like all the different kinds going on out there. And I want to be able to help more people live in the light and live in a happy body and not be like, oh, I don't understand why I feel so sad, or whatever's going on, so I can help them move away from that. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand. The only thing I would want to ask is just for listeners, maybe people don't know what Reiki is and why does that bring out the juice?
Yeah, absolutely. So Reiki is an ancient energy therapy. It's been around a couple of hundred years. Well, we don't exactly know when, but I think at least early 1900. Um, that came from Japan, and it's really the best way I can describe it is like very, very tuned into your intuitive self. So what I'm doing is using the Reiki energy that I've been attuned with, and I'm helping that person tune into what's going on for them. When I do just a single Reiki session, they're either on a Reiki table or on a big pad, and it's just about relaxing and letting go into it. And then I help them set an intention. So, and then I'm, what's the right word? Of course, it's not going to come with me right now. um, I'm using these specific words that they use in their intention setting to feed into their body and to really allow them to tune into what they need. It helps them like release layers of gunk, or could be something from childhood, it could be something from recent, but
Is
it can really assist people. Oh, go ahead.
it's mainly energy, no, that you're working with. So when you
Yeah,
say removing buildup or gunk, it's
yeah,
energetic
yeah.
buildup and gunk. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And there's all the different layers of the body. I apologize for anybody listening that I don't have that forefront in my mind, but I've been working on the yoga therapy side for the last few weeks, and the Reiki is kind of in another piece of
Yeah.
my brain right now. But
Okay.
essentially, like the auric field, there's all the different layers of what we work with. And which your auric field is just like right here. So if you're like, if you're carrying some like dark energy, the Reiki can really help you work through that and release it and help you get to a place where it's it's just your body and it's your physical positive being rather than this extra stuff that you're carrying that you don't need to be carrying around. And that extra stuff can affect everybody in the world. And so another reason I really do this is to help affect the big picture and the collective of how everybody interacts. And yeah.
Yeah, and would you say, because you called it the dark stuff, and I can imagine some people kind of freak out about that, that it's just dark because we haven't seen it, we haven't exposed it to the light of our consciousness,
Right. Yeah.
and
A
it's
lot of it
unresolved.
definitely.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of it's unresolved. And then some of it could be from a past life. I particularly work with things from about 10 years to when you were born. That seems to be when,
My
whether I'm working
stuff.
with yoga therapy or with Reiki or the combination, that's what seems to come up. And, sometimes we can go right. It depends on how tuned in the person is and how much energy work they've done. But we can go right to those spaces. So we could spend 3 or 4 minutes in a meditation and Reiki space, and then I can get somebody to kind of bring out. I'll like say, for example, I'll have their 5-year-old self in my hand, and we'll ask them, what's going on and what's taking place here, and really tuning into what's going on there, so we can discover how it's affecting the present moment being that we have in front of us. And then I can help them work through that, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, so it's kind of like an energetic pattern that has been impressed upon them a long time ago, and they're still carrying it, and they filter everything
Exactly.
through that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I can tell you're being affected here. Are you okay? I want to do the energy work on you right now. It's so wild.
Well, that's another thing I want to ask is, obviously you ask people if they want to do the Reiki, because yoga therapy and Reiki are not always done together, I imagine.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So it's only
Yeah,
when people
definitely. I
specify.
always get people's,
Yeah.
yeah, I always check in with them to make sure that they're okay with it. And when
Yeah, because I can
we do
imagine some people find that a bit like, oh, no?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some people want to just do the pure yoga therapy, and I'm totally game on that. I love doing the deeper version, but if that's not what they're okay with, that is understandable.
Yeah, people sometimes are not ready. No?
Yeah, oh, for sure. And sometimes we can do some things to kind of prepare ourselves to get ready and just do the gentler version of things until it feels right.
And what
Yeah.
would that be? May I ask?
Well, one example I have is a long-term yoga teaching student that I've had for 3.5 years, something like that. And I kind of do like a coaching with her, and she's done some Reiki, but essentially um, it's like a yoga for mental health is kind of what I call it. And honestly, that's what my yoga sessions are. I don't know how to make them anything else at this point. I want to say I don't know how, but I prefer not to. How about that?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and so I work with her that way, and so I could see working with some students where we do yoga teaching first, and then they go, well, I understand you have these other things. Would you like to, can I try something else? And
Okay.
yeah, so there are definitely ways to work with things in a gentle fashion, and it's really like yoga teaching, and I kind of do cues that are like allowing them to
Therapeutic.
see different parts of themselves in a
Yeah.
way that you might not see in a normal yoga class, that are kind of going into the mental emotional body.
Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, would you like to take us through a practice? Or is there something else you still want to add or talk about that you feel we haven't touched
No,
on?
I would love to. Trying to think if I missed anything. One of the newer things that I'm creating that I haven't I put a video out on with one of the networking groups, and I haven't gone back to, which I'm going to go back to at some point, is really it's about self-regulating.
Mm.
And this speaks to the grounding. Grounding is another way for me, that's what I would look at it. Grounding, centering, self-regulating. And
Mhm.
so the practice, this is a good kind of segue. One of the practices I'm going to show you is one of those for me, but there's a lot of different ones. So I'm getting ready to put another thing out there that shows all the different ones because I've been through a trauma-informed yoga teaching, a couple different pieces of one, and a lot of things actually, some that I don't even have on my website because I haven't had time to update everything. But essentially, it's about self-regulating and noticing when something is off. And so I have like one that a friend of mine that's a naturopath did at one of the festivals that I went to that I've had. Kolk did it as well, and some other people. But it's just like literally shaking, and it may seem really
Ah.
funny, but if you go back, anthropologically, we're discovering that animals, that's what they do to get
Mm.
themselves back to normal. Now, not everybody can do
Homeostasis.
that. If you have like a spinal cord injury, of course, you're not going to go, okay, I'm going to shake. But if you can, it's a really great way to like loosen up, release, and let go. And I don't recommend it as long as my friend did it. I think that might have been a little bit longer than, I mean, he was doing it, we were doing it for almost an hour, and I was like, that's a
Ah.
lot. So, but I would say like 5 to 10 minutes, if you like, there's something going on and you're just feeling something, just like dance, shake, move, and just, you
Mm.
can release it out. You can just shake it off of your body, right?
Mhm.
But anyways, I've got a whole set of practices that I help people with when they are of the cusp and they are the awareness that something's off. I feel like in groups of people or in individual people, I don't know how to quite get myself in the center. I have trouble in family discussions where somebody's energy is too much and then I get angry really quickly or something like that. I can help them with a whole set of self-regulating tools.
Ah,
So
great.
that's another one.
Yeah.
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 Um, but yeah, if you're ready to learn something kind of fun and cool, I created this during COVID. This was my little gem to keep myself in this little happy place. And then I
Uh-huh.
taught a friend of mine to make sure I could keep it in there. So essentially, I call this the Reiki release exercise. And it's not necessarily Reiki, but I like the name of it. So it is like Tai Chi and yoga and a little piece of meditation and some movement. And we combine it all together. So let's do it from the seated. I'm trying to think of how you'll see it. Well, I will describe it to those of you listening. And then if you want to try it with me, Shira, we'll go for
Yes.
it.
Do we need to stand up?
Let's go ahead and do it seated.
Okay.
I'm actually healing from a foot surgery I had a little over 3 months ago, and
Oh,
my
wow.
foot's feeling it today, so I think we'll sit today.
Okay, great.
So
I'll
go
mute
ahead and get
myself.
into, okay, no worries. Okay, so go ahead and get into a nice comfortable seat, and you're just going to allow yourself to feel the ground or feel the chair on your buttocks and just feel it below you, and allow yourself to feel the energy and feel the space below you. Maybe notice the sounds around you. Take notice of any other energetic spaces or feelings or sensations going on around the space around you or within you. And we're going to go within for a couple of moments here. So just taking a nice deep breath into your body. And just allowing yourself to feel the depths of your belly, and feeling your heart, and feeling how your whole body connects to one another. All the parts belong together. And what we're going to do here is a little movement where we're bringing that, we're going to release something out of your body that is not needed, essentially. Any kind of energetic feeling that feels like it could just use a shove in the other direction away. So we're going to take a nice deep breath into your body, and we're going to bring your hands up to shoulder level. And we're going to place our palms facing up. And we're just going to breathe some energy into those palms. So like pretending that you can breathe right into your palms. And just really feeling the depths of the energy right in your hands. And maybe just kind of jogging them up and down just a little bit. Just moving your hands up and down just to notice the feeling of what's going on inside your hands and your arms. And we're going to go ahead and shift our hands so that we're right in front of our body so that your arms are right in front of you. Perfect. And I'm going to teach you how to feel and notice an energy ball here. So you've got your hands and you're going to feel that energy. Maybe blow some energy into that space of your hands and just feel it. You're going to kind of like toss it like you've got like a basketball or you've got a beach ball you're getting ready to play with some friends. You're going to toss it up and down just a little bit. Perfect. And just notice it there. Notice the felt sense of it. Notice where it's at. And it doesn't have to be the shape of a ball. It could be a triangle. It could be an octagon. It could be something else. And notice where it's at. Maybe take your hands to the side and kind of feel it. Kind of touch and feel, move it around. And just feel where it's at in space. And kind of like pretend it's a ball for a second. You're just going to touch the sides of it. There you go. And just go ahead and we're going to lift it up towards the sky. And we're going to pretend we're going to push it out towards the ocean. The ocean's going to eat it up. Wherever you're at, there's going to be an ocean close by. So we're lifting it up towards the sky for just a moment. Taking a nice deep breath in. And we're going to release it away from the body. We're going to do this 3 times though. Inhaling it up towards the sky and releasing it away and scooping it up. And we're going to just notice where our body's at right now. And you can bring your hands down to your lap and just bring yourself to a nice, comfortable seated position again. Allowing your center to come back. Feeling yourself in space. And we're going to go ahead and bring your hands up to heart center and just bring them into a prayer position. And it doesn't have to be anything specific. We're just going to lean our hands down and just feel a little gratitude for letting go of some kind of layer, something that doesn't belong in your whole being right now. We're just going to feel that all the way down to your toes. Maybe kind of move your toes around for a second. And reach your hands out, kind of like you're sparkling, like you've got like little sparklers for, okay, you're not from the States, but if you're from the States for the 4th of July or something where you're getting ready to, yeah, you're moving your hands, right? That's all that matters. And just feel that as you come down to your hand and shake it out a little bit. And feel the wave of energy and the release. And just take a nice deep breath into your whole body there. Moving your shoulders. And just allowing your breath to bring you down to a comfortable space there. Just noticing the space around you, noticing how your whole body, how your being feels in this moment, what the sensations are in this moment. There's no judgment, no right or wrong to this. Just being in your space. And keep in mind, I tailor these to each individual being, so whoever's showing up in front of me, to make it about them. Just taking 3 more breaths and just allowing that breath to float out of your body. And allow yourself to slowly come back to the present. Maybe giving your shoulders a little shrug and just noticing your body on the earth, on the planet here for a second. And allowing yourself to just be here now.
Thank you, Jennifer.
How do you feel? Oh, you're so welcome.
That was really amazing. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, 10 kilos lighter, 5 pounds,
Nice.
20
Awesome.
pounds. Yeah. It was like Qigong, wasn't it? Kind of Qigong.
Oh, Qigong. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had one lesson. I've had one of my yoga instructors that I've taken many classes with over the years. He combines Tai Chi into his yoga. And then I've taken a tiny bit of Qigong and my Reiki and my daily practices. So it's
but also
something to really bring.
the
Oh, go ahead.
visualization and seeing it and feeling it, because the hands are so sensitive. You really feel that ball very quickly, don't you? The imagination can really fill up the gaps. It's
right.
great. Yeah, and then throwing that
It's
away. It was like this heavy. Okay, get rid of that.
Yeah, and you don't even need to know what's in there. It's not about that. It's just about releasing something that is like, okay, this isn't serving me anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just years of buildup of being in life and doing, being around other people and other parts of the planet,
Yeah.
So.
Thank you. Yeah, because I've felt heavy the last few weeks. There's just some things that have happened, and you get into this like, not the martyr, but kind of, I need to be sad. But how long do you need to be sad? There can be a point where you can just say, okay, now's enough.
Right, definitely. And these little things can be a good way to rediscover what's going on. Oh, I've been carrying this longer than I needed to. Okay, this can go now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's good. It sounds like you're healthy and that you know that you can feel it. That's really healthy to be able to go, yeah, I need to feel this, whatever is going on. And then when the time is right, you release it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but sometimes it's hard to gauge when do we need to release it, no?
Yeah, no, I would agree with that for sure. Yeah. And I mean, I do a lot of this kind of stuff by myself on a regular basis, so I feel pretty tuned in, but I still have some moments where I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And then you get away from other people or, out in nature or something. Nature's a really wonderful way to like kind of release something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just spent the weekend with my daughter camping, and it was, I hate sleeping outside, but on the floor, because I just sleep like really bad. But I love the fact that you don't have anything to do except for cook food, walk, and make sure that you have a nice bedding. So it's really the basics. And there's this life around you constantly, just the tweeting birds and the breeze and the trees. Yeah, very grounding,
Yeah,
centering.
yeah, it's a good way to just bring you back to, yeah, like you said, the basics. I
Yeah.
think we live in such a complex world these days that coming back to the basics on a regular basis can really bring you back to,
What is
ah,
essential? Yeah.
everything's good right now.
Yeah, what do
And
we need?
yeah,
Not that much.
right,
Yeah.
right, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the time and the experience with that little experiment and this thing that I created that
Yeah, it's
kept me
wonderful.
centered during the middle of all the wacky things in the world. And I like to bring it to people. So if anybody's interested in just getting something, I do 2 sessions with you. I spend an hour really digging into your life and your needs and what's going on. And then I do like a 30-minute yoga therapy session. And then the other half is here's your own um,
Practice.
Reiki release practice that you can do whenever you need it, wherever you need it. You can just like sit at a park. You could be in the city and you're like, oh, something's not right. Got to do this.
Yeah.
And you can make it 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be a long exercise. So
Yeah.
yeah, if people are interested in that, definitely.
Great. Great. Yeah, and I will put all your links in the show notes, anything you want people to find, how they find you, what you have to offer, because you have a lot
Sounds
to
great.
offer. Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jennifer. Thank you for being here. And
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate your time. This is really fun. This is
yeah,
wonderful. You've got
it
great
is fun.
energy, and this was great that you showed up so fully.
Yeah, and same for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll just say goodbye to our listeners. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Thank you. Goodbye. And I
Bye.
appreciate you taking the time to do this for me.
Oh, my
Have a lovely
pleasure.
day
Yeah.
or evening. I'm not sure what time it is over there.
It's evening. It's 6:30.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Yeah.
Very good. Wonderful.
So, thank you everyone for staying to the end of the podcast. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. I really love doing these talks with these amazing people. And if you want to know more, just take a look in the show notes. There's plenty of links and ways to connect with either the guest or myself. If you want to work with us or find out more about us, just check out the information in the show notes. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend or week, and you'll be hearing from me next week. Bye.